guys, welcome back to Meyer Studio Sketch Club. My name is Izzy, next to me is my dad Jason and our dog Bo, and just behind us is my mom Cindy. Tonight we will be doing two 10-minute sketches. I've heard it is about a chicken and a branch. Before we get started, my dad will take a few minutes to talk about his approach before sketching starts at 7. Your turn.
Hello everybody. So a quick reminder, you can find these reference images, all 4 of them. We're only going to work on 2 of them tonight on the website, jasonmeyer.com. And if you hover your mouse over the Sketch Club title near the top of the page, you'll see a reference image tab up here. And go ahead and give that a click. And you can open those up and make them bigger if you like. And as always, we'll be back Thursday night at 7. So let's head over to the iPad, take a look at what we're going to do tonight. Hold on a minute. What do we got here? Claudia says, I hope Izzy is better. Well, we can make that judgment after the show. So,
Wait.
hello. Hey, oh, look at all that. It's the Izzy show. Yay! And of course, Cindy's added the link there to see the reference images for tonight's things. And as always, Izzy did as most of the time, Izzy did a marvelous intro. Why are you?
So rude.
I had to do it last night.
Hey, you got
Sunday night.
confidence, girl.
Why are you stealing the floor from Susan? Susan says, good evening. Hi, Susan.
I'll try to contain myself.
All right. Let's go to the iPad and take a look at what we're going to be doing tonight. So we talked about the cylinder. And before we talked about the cylinder, we talked about how we try to use, you hear me say 1, 2, 3, and 4 all the time. And what I'm referring to there is how dark or light it is. With 1 being the lightest, usually a white. 4 being the darkest, our kind of black or our compressed charcoal. 2 in our case is going to be the tone of the paper, if you're working on toned paper. And 3 will be the vine charcoal or a light gray. So what's the anatomy of a cylinder? The anatomy of a cylinder? That's right, that's what I said. What does it take to make up a cylinder? Well, if you take, whatever you do, you need to open a layer. So let's open a layer. And you're going to take 2 lines and you're going to add 2 ellipses.
You're at the screen.
What?
You're at the screen. Step in so they can see you.
Thank you. Ellipse, line, line, and we only see the front part of the ellipse because the back is back behind the object. Okay, so that's the anatomy of a cylinder. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. And so tonight, let's do one other thing. Oops. Here it is. It's kind of a little bit crazy here. So we want to paint the cylinder in nature, or a natural cylinder. And I know things are a little crazy from the other night, but that's all right. So instead of doing a straight line, let's have some. There we go. Instead of doing a straight line for the movement, right? So our lines before were just straights. What we want to do is we want to make them curves, not straight. So the movement, and then we could just follow that with the cylinder. Like that. Okay, so that'll make things look a little more natural. So with those couple of tools in our pocket, you take a good looking chicken, all right, and man, these layers and layers and layers. We've got a little bit of that. Let's see here, let's go. There we go. All right, in there like that. And so I can then use the idea of a cylinder as I'm drawing this, and then this fits into the body, which is a bigger cylinder. Okay, does that make sense? All right. So what's the big deal about that? What's the big deal? What happened to my lighted stuff? Did I lose all that? Oh, here it is. Here it is. So, but we don't want to do it in line. We want to do it in mass, and we want to make it lit or lighted. So we talked about our number. Let's see, where are we at? Here, add that. We talked about our number 1, and that's going to be very small. Little highlight right there. Number 2 value is going to be our light or tone of the paper. And you see that there. Our number 3 or background paper is going to be our light gray. You see that there. And our number 4 value is our shadow, our form shadow, and our cast shadow. All right. So that is a lighted cylinder, and that gives you the feeling of it being round, of us being able to go around it, of it being three-dimensional or having depth. Okay? All right. How am I doing? Are you bored? You already fell asleep? A little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then for our gnarly old tree, hold on, you're not going to fool me this time. We're going to go there, open up. We see our cylinders. Right, so it's nothing but a cylinder, and we talked about as we're finding these things, we can kind of float over the top of that, and when we do that, that amazingly kind of has a feeling of something already being there. Okay? So again, if you can just think and feel in that three-dimensional terms, then you'll can easily control, maybe not easily, but then you're able to control. Right, and then what we want to do, if the sun is coming in here, then where's the shadow? Shadow will be here, shadow will be here, shadow on this side, it'll be down here, and then we're going there. And so with the shadow, we can indicate how it's tossing and turning and twisting into space. All right, is anybody able to make anything out of that? Does that make sense? Enough already? Let's draw. What do you think? Is he ready to draw?
Mm-hmm.
All
Susan
right.
saw the mules for me.
Oh, the muleys.
Oh,
The horse donkeys.
hello. And then
Horse
Randy's
donkeys.
here.
All right. Randy says, hi, Izzy. Everybody's so disappointed you couldn't make it, but they knew you felt bad. And he's doing some weird stuff over here, so I'll be in and out of tonight's class. Okay, well, just stay safe, whatever you're doing. Stay safe.
All you hear, poof.
Poof. All right, guys. Well, if you got your pencils and stuff, let's get going. Let's do some sketching. Oops. That doesn't look like a tree.
It's just my head up in here.
That looks like a tree. Doesn't look like a roast chicken.
There you go. Keeping me straight. Somebody's got to watch after the artist. So this is where we got after 5 minutes on Sunday, or where I got 5 minutes on Sunday. And now I'm going to come back and try to be a little more accurate, right? 5 minutes isn't very long, and we want to get the kind of the whole thing in there. And now as I come back, what I want to do is I want to be a little more precise. And your eraser is absolutely a drawing tool. So what I'm doing is I'm taking back or making a little smaller that hood. Right? In case you were asking what I was doing.
Oy.
Nope, not working on the waddle, working on the hood. I'm so happy I got to say that.
Did you practice?
This just made my week. I can just like let the week go now. I got what I needed from it. Okay, now again, it's a little bit different from what the photo's doing, but I'm saying the light's coming in from the left, right? Because we're facing that way, and this is going to be a more interesting drawing. And then the light will hit the beak. You see the nice light of the beak there? That can be important.
I think this is correct. Says busy, but yes.
I don't current, retro, or something.
Or something.
Something.
We're like a mix of both.
I wouldn't call us modern or postmodern, would you?
What does modern mean? No, actually, what does it mean?
Versus traditional, modern is like today, but it's also a style in art and in architecture and things like that.
Okay, now that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, it finally clicked.
Click, click.
It just takes me sometimes.
You back? Wait, no drawing for you? What's going on?
You handed me a dog, and I kind of like the dog.
Why don't you practice your drawing?
I see. If you see. A little bit more time with the doggy. We should sketch.
So, and then you always want something to focus on. So you can see I'm coming back on the eye and giving the dark of the eye, and I'm going to show some form in there, some dark light. And that'll cause some attention. Who's this good-looking chicken, you'll be asking?
Should we name it?
Should we name it?
Yeah.
Was that from Susan?
I believe this is a Susan.
Maybe it already has a name.
Yeah.
But I meant like his drawing of the chicken.
My drawing? Oh, okay. So what's my chicken drawing's name?
I don't know. That's what we must think.
All right.
There's always the traditional names: Jeff, Bob, etc.
Jeff the chicken.
Her name is Lou.
Foul ball.
Foul ball.
Do you get that? Do you know what a foul ball is?
It's a baseball thing.
So if it goes out
When
of
you hit
bounds,
it
it's
that
called
way?
a foul ball.
Yeah.
Do you know what you can also call birds chickens?
No.
You call them fowl. Fowl. Oh. Good one, Susan. I like the name. Did you put that up there for everybody to see?
These.
Are you jealous you're not being held?
Yes.
Oh.
Did you see Grandma's?
Oh, yep. Grandma had a Russell.
Oh yeah, that was
Her
the one
favorite
that
hen.
sat on her shoulder.
Russell, her favorite hen. So Izzy wants to name it Jeff.
Or Bob.
Jeff or Bob. Jeff or Bob. That's a weird name.
Susie.
Susie.
Well, do you want to be a boy or do you want
Susie
to be
is
a
my
girl?
great grandma.
Yeah.
It's a chicken. Chickens are females, roosters are males.
Okay.
That's why it's funny that Mom's hen was named Russell.
Right. And that's why it's cool that you named your chicken Jeff.
Okay.
Or actually, I think technically you named it Jeff or Bob, which is a weird name, but. Okay. So now, as I'm shadowing this thing, because it's really hard to see light and shadow on there, I'm just thinking in terms of the tubes and of simple cylinders. Right? But good, finish, all those things are slow going. Take a little bit of time.
I'm glad we're up to speed.
I know, it's hard to stay on top of all these accounts. with weird things going on. So what I'm doing now is I'm going back on the hood and I'm pulling it out. And then I put a shadow side on the back side of the triangles. And then at some point we might see some light on the light side of the triangles of the hood.
That's a weird looking chicken.
Give it a little time. You're pretty critical.
Looks like a snake with a beard and a beak.
Oh, you're talking about yours. I thought you were talking about mine.
Oh no.
I'm like, dang, girl. I promise to accept this time. That's fun. Again, but by going for some quote unquote details or more detail, more specific little things around where I want you to focus, the eye just naturally goes there. And then the further away we get from where I'd like you to focus, kind of the less detail, and then eventually I just want to go to just general suggestion. Right? So we can go from very specific to general suggestion.
Millie doesn't like that you're holding bow.
Well, no, what she doesn't like is that you're in front of her camera. There she is.
There's Millie.
There she is. Okay, and look how, man, a couple of highlights and bang. You know, if you're careful about not using too much of the white, it can be very, very powerful. Right? And the other thing you want to watch out for as you're doing this, again, it's just sketching, but take the practice. Practice really separating that shadow value from the gray value. Yep. Izzy sacrificed herself so Millie could have some screen time.
No, my hair's just against the desk.
She's sitting a little lower. I don't think you raised the seat tonight, did you?
Hold up. Is that a possibility? Oh. That's the size it goes. I might need assistance getting it.
And then the dark with the white right there. Right? Again, it's a bigger change, so it causes a lot of attention. And what are you doing?
Oh my god.
I'll repeat it. What'll you do?
No.
Yeah.
I survived. Whoa.
When I learn new words, I like to use them, especially a word like waddle.
What? Sounds like a duck, like waddling.
A walking duck, or the stuff hanging down from the beak of chickens and roosters.
Something.
Yay, Daddy's back.
Yay.
I survived. But now we lost the dog. There's the
That's
dog.
alright.
The dog. Hello. Hello,
And
dog.
again, if you have to, it's not a one and done thing. But what will happen is if you give yourself a chance, like the more you get into it, the finer you'll see.
You have gotten a compliment.
Ah, thanks, Lori. What are you doing? Yeah, see, there we go. There we go. Thanks for the support, buddy. Thanks for the support.
You're supposed to be on my side.
He recognizes good humor. He recognizes good humor.
Does he? Does he do?
Good layman humor.
Layman? What is
As in
that?
versus a lay person is versus a professional. Like a professional comedian
Oh,
or
okay.
writer.
Okay. Just take some time. You got to give me sleep.
You don't like me to finish my sentences. Why is that?
Because.
And then let's get the nature of the feathers. Look how I'm just kind of suggesting that. And it's rough. Again, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, that's not very long. But what a great time to just to kind of play and explore with some of these things. Okay, and that's about the time for that. Can you switch out the things?
Okay.
So you go over there.
So
you
I go up here and I'm gonna hide the rooster.
Mhm.
and it says this, and I unlock this.
That's right. That's all you gotta do.
Whoa!
Good job, is.
I didn't mess it up.
You made it better. You made it better. And so this was 5 minutes on the gnarly old tree branch. And again, you can make this up. You don't, once you know how to make the cylinders and kind of put the, what would you call it? Kind of the understructure down there so you can see and turn. And then you just let it get banged up a little, right? Some growth, a little bigger, a little lighter. Some stretches, some bends. And you got it.
Some dogs, some cats, whatever.
So what you're going to see happen here is I'm going to play for a little while, but before we get to the end on my dark darks, I'm going to be pretty specific about where I put them, and I'm not going to put them everywhere. And we're going to get a little fog coming in there. That's going to be interesting. Go ahead, you need to put that up on the screen.
No.
I'll drop the dog and do it.
No, please.
Come on, I need my
Sacrifice.
compliments.
I can't add it. I can't add it. Ah, dang it. I found the spot.
Yeah, I've become quite a fan of the dad joke myself.
It scares my friends.
Kind of growing into it. See what I'm doing?
Yeah,
You wondering what all I was doing?
Oh my gosh.
All right. I particularly love drawing like tree branches and things, especially like gnarly old trees and stuff. I just think they're so fun. I can sit for hours and just sketch out of my imagination these things.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Not mad, just disappointed. Right, so different lines, weights of the lines. What are you disappointed in?
You with your dad jokes.
Oh, you expected the dad jokes to be better?
That.
If that was the case, they would not be dad jokes. So boom.
You could be the cool dad and say cool jokes.
They would no longer be dad jokes.
Well, don't
They would
make
just be
them
jokes.
dad jokes.
They would just be
say
jokes.
This is a whole category.
As if it's a...
Give me a gnarly old branch, sweetie. Give me a gnarly old branch. So this, again, what I'm doing here is the cast shadow, and then it'll turn into the form shadow. But a little hard edge and clarity on the cast shadow, man, that can do a lot. I can do a lot for a fella or for a lady. Can do a lot. You singing the blues, sweetie? Singing the blues? You want up in the front row? And then, you know, most things that grow, not all, there's exceptions to everything, but they're going to get bigger and then smaller and smaller and smaller. Right? Or at the soil, what happens? That's when it's the smallest. Sometimes there's a single stem. Underneath the soil, what happens? The roots spread out. And then above the soil, the tree branches spread out. But just make sure you get that big to small feeling as you work your way away from the base of the tree.
As you can tell, this is a whining dog. This is a sleepy dog. Please. Good eye.
Okay, and then, you know, if you're going to have hard edges, then make sure you soften some edges as well. And then those hard edges will look even harder. They'll be more effective. And then as we're on those internal edges, where it turns from light to shadow, we want to get those to be soft edges. As opposed to the cast shadows, those will have harder edges.
Are you holding it like a baby?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. 1 year ago, we'd have said this is completely normal. And now 1 year later, you guys are not even questioning it. So, just gotta roll with it. It's all good. It's all good.
No way she said that.
I-
Yep.
We're gonna get Millie a pacifier, I think. Alright, and then with the eraser again, we're gonna pull out some light. And I'm gonna get that cast shadow, nice hard line. And there's just gonna be the least amount of highlight on here. And again, not everywhere what it would be, but where we wanna focus. Where we wanna focus. We got still got a little time for that. How much time we got left in this drawing, sweetie?
We have exactly 5 minutes and 10 seconds.
Oh, excellent. So we got longer than I thought. So again, the finer stuff, the finish, it really takes longer, right? The last 5% can take longer than the first 95%. It's true.
I'm not laughing because of that. Because when you hit like the last 5%, in ST Math you're given a challenge which takes years, and so I laughed because it was very true.
Very
Why
true.
you be so defensive?
When did you get an accent?
I like it. Hee hee hee.
So I like it is what time? I asked when did you get an accent?
When a light bulb went off in my head, and I'm like, I'll go do an accent.
I think you're tired. You're a little punchy, aren't you?
Yes.
So here's some of those dark accents I was talking about on the outside. You see how that can really grab and pull? And I don't want to make them even, and the darker accents I'm putting on the shadow side, and then letting the light side have a little bit of a lighter touch. And we're going to let things get a little vaguer, a little more obscure as they travel back into space. The obscurity of time and space. And then this is a new Vine charcoal stick here, so I'm trying to see kind of how it works.
So this is what this is.
It's Vine charcoal. But we're used to working with little bitty pieces that are left.
Shrunk again. Just I see your forehead.
Mm.
There you go.
And again, since it's Vine charcoal, I'm going to be able to spread this. I wouldn't want to make marks like that with the compressed charcoal. And you know, there are differences in Vine charcoal too. Basically, if you think anytime it says soft, or if it's softer, it's going to be darker. Make darker marks. And if it's a harder charcoal, it'll make lighter marks and should be a little bit easier to wipe off. Okay? And so even Vine charcoal can be lighter to darker, or compressed charcoal can be lighter to darker. But the main thing is you've got one that doesn't make as dark marks, and you've got something else that makes darker. Now it looks like I'm going really dark here, but again, this is that Vine charcoal that's going to wipe back pretty well. So I'm thinking ahead. How responsible of me to be thinking ahead. You should cook me a brownie.
No.
Should cook me 2 of them.
Pecan pie are best.
Oh, pecan pie, I'll take it.
Oh yeah, we're overdue making that.
Okay, and then what you see here is this is the stump, and I'm just evening out this tone a little bit. It's not that you can't have a little movement in that tone, but we don't want it choppy, or right. We don't want any of those edges like we have in the tree. We don't want anywhere close to those edges. And you see how it looks like that limb kind of emerges out of there? That's the idea. And then with the eraser, again, I can pick out some things close to where I want you to focus and make it a little stronger. And what you see is I'm just really pressing down because some of it's dark. So you can kind of see the pressure I'm using to get in there and try to pull some of that charcoal up. So no matter what you're doing, there's still an aesthetic foreground and background. And all that means is where you want them to look and where you don't want them to look. So the aesthetic foreground is going to be your most, your more, where you look. And your aesthetic background will be the vagueness, or where you don't want them to look. Right? And that's completely different from any picture plane you have. Picture plane foreground and background. You need to get her a microphone. Get her own blues station. And again, putting those highlights near that dark there is just going to accentuate that. Okay, and that's about it for that time.
3, 2.
It was fun. So do you guys like drawing those dry tree branches and stuff? I love doing those. So why don't we do a rewind here? Give everybody a chance. Let's see. I can do it here.
I can take the dog. I like the doggy.
There we go. So in just 1 minute, we're going to see the whole 20-minute show today.
Sorry.
Randy commented.
Where?
Yeah. Yeah, when you learn to use it, using the erasers is a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Needed. I think in the art stores you'll see, you may call them a gum eraser, maybe a little bit different, but the kneaded eraser. And with the kneaded eraser, once they get dirty, you'll have to replace it. And they will work better if you literally knead them. You work them a little bit as they warm up with your body heat. They get to be a little more effective. And again, all of this is based on the simple cylinder. So from that 2 lines and 2 ellipses, we can do this. Right? So that's the power of being able to see it simply. Wow, and like that, we've got a show.
Bam!
All right, how did everybody do tonight? Did you guys get some good drawing in?
What are you doing? We cannot go anywhere.
So like always, if you're happy with how your drawing turned out or would like to share, we'd love to see it in the comments below. You can always come back and post it if you want to work a little while. And let's see, we'll be back Thursday. Our reference images on the website at jasonmeyer.com. And our YouTube schedules will be in the morning, 8 a.m. for Morning Jumpstart. That's Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays on YouTube. And 7 p.m. Monday, Wednesdays on YouTube, we have Masterworks. And if you're here, you probably already know that Sketch Club Live here on Facebook is Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursdays at 7. All right. So it was a blast, everybody. Thank you so much. Good to see you, Shakti.
Bye,
And
everyone.
Ellie. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Mom. Bye.
Bye, Wendy. Bye, guys.
Bye, Danny.